All right, coach, here we go. So this is the setup for the basic shooter's alley. Really easy. You're going to have two kids from one side and three kids from the other. I know they're all X's, but I chose to draw them as X's because I will draw the O's as a ball. So you'll see that they're red and blue. I will then track their locations so that you know basically how to set this up. But what I want you to know to start is that the distance from here to here is 20 yards. That's it. Not any further than that. You will have a goalie, and these goalies also can get into the action, but they can't punt. They're simply rolling out and tossing out, and that's it. But they cannot punt. They can kick if they bring it down to their feet and play it at their feet. They can also be played back to. Now, the red is on defense here. These are defensive players. These are offensive players. Blue is on defense here and offense there. So if I'm going to label these guys, you're looking at your blue goalie and your red goalie. Now this is how this will work. In the center, about 10 yards, you'll have a series of cones, disc cones, not big ones. So they have to play through them, and they also know that they are, relegated to one side or the other. And what will happen is you will have two coaches, if you have two coaches, be on both sides. A coach will kick a ball into the mix. When that ball goes in, the players must play it on a one touch to try to score. Or if they're defensive, they can build, but they can only play two touches. So that means if this defensive player steps up to get the ball, this one has to know to find the soft space. So that means he's moving this way or this way so that a pass can be made. Now, normally you would want this guy to move this direction so that this gentleman who steps up to get the ball can pass that ball to him. But this must be a one-timer. His job is not to pass it back. His job is to shoot, and that is the name of the game. When he shoots, these two guys have to crash that goalie and pick up the rebounds. They are not allowed to touch the ball more than once, so their job is to also shoot. If the ball bounces off this goalie's hands and down, one of these guys needs to pick up that trash and shoot it right in, one-timer. They are not allowed to touch it more than once. If they do, coaches blow the whistle, goalie kicks the ball out to one of the two coaches, and the other coaches simply send a new ball in. So that is how this game is played. Their entire goal here is to shoot. So if we take the same scenario that I just did and we send a ball in, ball gets into this area right here. This man figures out a way to attack, or that man figures out a way to attack. They are only one-touch players shooting the ball into the goal. That's their job. Their job is to try to beat them to the ball on the defensive end and try to get it out by shooting it. So he can shoot or pass to get it out of here, and the Blues' only job is to shoot. But if the red makes the pass, like I said before, the pass that they're making, that guy must immediately try to rip a shot and shoot. So their job is to get open. His job is to make a good pass so that it leads him out to make the shot. But if he sends it backwards to him, this guy only has one play. His one play is either to the goalie or to the other far back. So if this guy decides to wrap it and bring this ball back to him, and this gentleman moves back into play, he will then have to send it across so that it can be shot, or send it through to be shot. It's the only time he can touch it more than once to get back on even a one touch is too much. So that's the first section of this, right? Sending a ball in and seeing the chaos. The play should move forward. If it does move back, it's the only time a defenseman can touch it for more than one touch, but then they are two touch to lead their second touch out to the next player to take a shot. on goal. Same thing here. This coach is not going to send a ball in here. He can send a ball in anywhere. So he can put that ball right back in here again if he wants to. But if he puts it in here, now the place flips. And now these guys are on offense. These guys are on defense trying to get the ball into that goal. The first progression of this is that the two offensive players are not being passed to by the defensive players. Their only job is to pick up trash or to catch that ball that's being sent in by the coach or even by the defenders if they're missing the goal so that they can score. That is their only job. Progression number 2, they can start making passes, but the pass can only be one touch passes. So now if the defenseman gets the ball, coach sends the ball in to the defenseman. He can make a pass out to his other defenseman. This guy can then check 2. If he checks 2, this center back will send one of his forwards a ball, and that guy's job is to try to turn and shoot right away. So his job is to take 2 touches, no more than that, to turn on his first touch and shoot on his second touch. So if he makes a good play, sends the ball out to here, and he turns so that he can rifle a shot on goal. That means this player's job is to crash the net and pick up those rebounds. It will happen where he might actually shoot the ball and this guy will run in and take the second touch to put a ball in, but their whole job is to shoot. That's their job. You're not passing around. This isn't like a fun pass game. This is a fun shoot game. Their job is to get that ball into the goal mouth as much as they possibly can. So that is progression 2. Progression 3 is a little bit more intricate and may not be for your age group. But progression 3 is this. Coach sends a ball in. This defenseman steps up. This defenseman can get across the cones only if this center back passes the ball to him. Once this guy gets into the zone, he then becomes one of the 3 in here until the play is over and the ball is out or scored. He can stay in this area. He is not allowed to cross back into the defensive area on a pass because there's no passes that go back. From this guy, you're not passing it back here. So if he gets into this area and he's immediately trying to take passes, one-touch passes or shots, because that's what it's got to be quickly, one-touch passes or shots all the whole time. Guy gets in the zone. If let's say he was making one-touch passes and the blue team takes over, and now they move the ball back, this guy then moves the ball through, and this guy sends the ball up. Even though this guy might send the ball back into here, the guy who joined this offensive rush is not allowed to cross back in. He has to stay where he is. This leaves these 2 guys at a 1v1 on each one of their men. When they are down in numbers, it teaches them to communicate differently. So that is the next progression of this drill. Now, the technical sense of this drill is that obviously you are shooting, no matter what it is, just shooting on goal. But what most kids don't recognize is that if they get caught down a man, so this guy's out of position, and it's just these 2 versus these 2, what they have to realize is that the goalie is also a man. So if they get into a position where they can play it back to the goalie can actually take shots on goal as well. So they're allowed to. It's only 20 yards. This goalie can rip a shot if he wants, and they can play it that way. The goalie can also send a ball through on the 3rd progression and send another defenseman into the zone if he wants to. The goalie can also send a ball into the 2 guys on the forwards, and if they get the ball, it is 2 touches max. If they touch it 3 times in any one of these progressions, immediately it's over. You blow the whistle, ball comes out, new ball comes in. Remember, this is a 1-touch and 2-touch game only, and their job is to take as many shots as they possibly can. The problem that most kids have is they think too much and they don't take shots. So this drill gets them used to ripping shots without thinking, and they get confident in where they're shooting. That's the progression. So you have 1, 2, and 3. Progression 1, send it in. One touches it on goal, one touches it on goal. These guys are shooting, not passing. Progression number 2 is that they can pass to the forwards if they want to, but the forwards are only allowed to have 2 touches on the ball. Progression number 3, they can pass it and draw a third man into the zone if they want to, join the party up front. Remember, this is a garbage drill, meaning like they're trying to pick up garbage from the goalies. We should be pushing them to look for the goalie to put the ball on the ground and then attack that play right away, or anything that comes off posts, comes out. They have to attack it with their head, which I know they're not allowed to do technically at your end, but get it on goal. Get everything on goal. Play the ball in front of you, in front, shooting, shooting, shooting. If the ball is bouncing, not to settle it, just try to catch that ball in the air and rip shots all day long. Goalies are going to be very tired here. I say play to 3 and then have a team that's on the sideline waiting to go in. And when they play to 3 or play to 2 and a team scores 2 goals, which will happen really quick, the team that didn't score the goals comes out. This team goes on, and now you're playing. So you need at least 2 sets of colored pennies and 1 uniform. So 1 uniform, 1 color yellow, 1 color blue, and then that's how you rotate. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it.